Characters from popular CBS shows became our familiar friends. We took a trip to central Vermont to talk to lifelong Channel 3 viewer Steve Morse. After all these years, he still loves Lucy.
I have always been a Lucille Ball fan. I grew up on I Love Lucy, Campbell's Soup, and Jell-O, from what I tell my mother. The interesting thing that I find with Lucille Ball is she was the first female comedian. Up until that time, you had Laurel and Hardy, you had Charlie Chaplin, you had Buster Keaton, and a lot of teams and stuff, but there were no women that were funny, and she sort of broke the mold.
When she did the routine with Harpo Marx, where she thought she was looking in a mirror, and anything that he did or she did, he would do, until finally they crossed one another up. It was great.
A number of years ago, I sent her a fan letter, and about 3-4 months later, she sent me back this picture, autographed and endorsed to me, to Steve, Love Lucy. So I began bit by bit just collecting things, newspaper articles, clippings. In the last 5 or 6 years, there have probably been 15 or 20 books have come out. I would say Lucille Ball and I Love Lucy are as big today, if not bigger, than maybe they were back then in 1951 when they started.
Favorite shows, favorite memories. Could some of these be yours?
Come listen to a story about a man named Jed. Book 'em, Dano.
Stifle it, Edith. I'm Larry. This is Daryl, and this is my other brother, Daryl.
The tribe has spoken.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I sat in front of the TV as much as any kid today. I mean, that was, you know, talking horse, come on.
You got to go to a horse for advice, then you know your life isn't going so good.
I'm sure when I was really young, I assumed perhaps horses could talk.
The Andy Griffith Show had a warmth to it.
Simpler times.
It had a depth. There was a moral in every story. If someone's feelings were hurt, you had to go in and deal with it.
Hogan's here, yes. Ivan Dixon, Bob Crane, Colonel Klink, Peter Clary. Oh, good show, good show.
Boy, the way Glenn I can tell you my favorite show, probably of all time, which was a CBS show, is All in the Family. I mean, first of all, just brilliantly acted and written.
You know, I think that was a wonderful show in terms of helping us all break down some of our stereotypes and our understanding our own prejudices and biases.
You know the rest?
I think it was the time, it was the coolness, it was the hipness of the show, it was the Miami Vice, you know.
Book 'em, Dano.
I used to get called Dano. Book 'em, Dano.
I used to like Jethro, though. He was funny.
We got a couple of Jethros around here.
Yeah, we got a few Jethros.
Ellie Mae.
Ellie Mae.
Max. Notice we go to Ellie Mae.
Well, as I remember it, the Waltons was about a large family in the South and all their trials and tribulations.
I think it's a dream of society to really have those old days back, if they ever did exist in the first place.
We got to stay up past 8 o'clock once a week, and we either had to choose between the Waltons or Gunsmoke.
Actually, before we went to bed, we'd say goodnight to each other, and then for some reason, somebody would always shout out, "Good night, John boy!" It's a great show because it made you laugh and it made you cry. It gave you the best of both worlds. You never knew what you're going to get when you started, watching the episode. It's going to be a funny one or a sad one.
Anita Ekberg. Ingrid Bergman. Sonia Heine.
Definitely, great show. Really great show. I liken my own life to Colonel Potter, actually. I just don't really know what's going on, but again, it seems to be working out.
I got it. You got it.
I know I've got it. Potter here.
And you can never, ever watch the final without absolutely losing it.
Just a good old boy.
Friday night, 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock.
Followed up by Dallas and Falcon Crest.
Yeah.
Big fan.
I actually always wanted to jump through the window like they did. I just wanted to do that when I got a car, when I turned 16.
That's right. Car was cool. Guys were cool. Daisy, extra cool.
Daisy Duke.
Someday the mountain will give
Those are the days.
60 Minutes.
60 Minutes has always been there, the tick, 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 tick. From the time I was a little kid, I knew on Sunday night 60 Minutes was coming on.
That's another show I remember was always on when I was a child, you know. And it seems like a lot of the same people are still doing the reporting. And it was one of the, you know, they had the signature, you know, stopwatch and very recognizable trademark.
Larry, Daryl, and Daryl, the quintessential Vermonters. They were perfect.
I didn't realize that the Waybury Inn was the inn that Newhart was based on.
That's the same one.
Yeah.
David Letterman.
He is a pro.
On the program this evening, Stupid Patrick.
He's funny.
I like watching David Letterman after the news at night.
Paul, you gotta love Paul. The band is always the best, which is very cool. They're a great band.
Everybody loves Raymond. These two guys.
And so I go over there and I saw Ma. Don't touch me there, Ma.
I think Raymond should have respected his brother a little bit more because he's a cop, and he was a good cop.
Oh, so you do everything Ma tells you?
It's a little late for rebellion, Raymond.
I watch all the different CSIs, including CSI Miami.
You left us a witness and enough evidence to convict you in 2 states.
CSI, I like that, and now CSI NY is coming on, so I look forward to that.
I know you want to impress your boss, but there's an innocent man on that boat. Now, if you take this shot, I'm going to be in your grill for the rest of your natural life. I want you to think about what that might be like.
Can't get a clean shot, sir.
My favorite show in the world, and you know it.
Survivor
is my favorite show.
There's enough people that follow it here that we take over one TV in the day room and we'll watch it, and they all know what's going on. It's fun. Fun to watch.
My mother was an absolute fanatic. She actually would call us up and say, you gotta turn on Survivor.
I think it's really cool show.
You kidding me? I'd be kicked off in the first episode.
To watch Kathy's progress, or someone from our community, has been exciting.
Like, I knew she was from Vermont. I thought that was cool.
That girl was right up the street, somewhere. Yeah. I don't know where, I don't stalk her, but she lives up the street.
How would I win $1 million on Survivor?
Would you cheat?
No, I wouldn't do like the whole Johnny Fairplay thing.
Okay.
I would just get by on my charm and my good looks. And
last about a show.
Yeah.
Survivor hit close to home for another Vermonter. Stacey Riley of Colchester won a new car in Channel 3's Survivor Challenge.
Well, my son Nicholas and I were watching the Channel 3 news one night, and the promo came on for the Survivor contest. And he says, Dad, he says, you ought to try that. And, well, being a sucker that I am for contests, I called up, got through, and had the correct answer for the question, and was one of the qualifiers.
Man, I need this Aztec because my minivan has 110,000 miles. I challenge you to send your postcard in today with my name on it, and I'll see you in the Outback.
They came around, that box was still there, and I grabbed it, and it happened to be the one that started the Pontiac Aztec. It was very exciting, and it was definitely a night that we'll never forget.